Welcome to this presentation of Introduction to Blockchain and Solidity Programming, presented by Coding Bootcamps, the Solidity Contract, and Truffle. And we've covered this, and we've covered this. So far, we have built our contracts in Remix. We can certainly code outside of Remix, and we're going to talk about that shortly. We have looked at functions, we've looked at payments, we've looked at constructs and syntax in Solidity. Now we're going to talk about a framework to build our smart contracts using Solidity for Ethereum. Truffle is a framework. And Truffle is being extended to other blockchains, so it will soon be available for Hyperledger. It will soon also be available for Corda. And Truffle abstracts a lot of work, a lot of tedious work away from us. So a lot of our application binary interface, a lot of the JSON that we would have to provide is provided for us by Truffle. Also, a lot of the Web3 tedious work, a lot of JSON for our Web3 JavaScript is provided for us by Truffle. So Truffle can certainly help accelerate and remove a lot of tedious work that is quite time consuming. So it is a great framework. So Truffle is a suite of tools, and again, it is a framework for smart contract development. Created for Ethereum, it will soon be extended to Corda and Hyperledger Fabric as well. So Truffle creates projects for us, so it initializes projects for us, compiles contracts, tests contracts, migrates and deploys contracts, and works with us to help debug contracts. Truffle is available and does integrate with Visual Studio Code. And Visual Studio Code here, you can see runs on Mac OS, Windows, and other types of visual desktop environments. We can see here, this is Visual Studio Code right here, and you can see that we have a Solidity contract in here. And we're actually we're running within a Truffle project. So you can see here the command Truffle compile. So to install Truffle, you can start by installing Chocolatey. We do need Node Package Manager and Node.js. And to install Truffle, we want to run this command right here, npm install -g Truffle. One place you may also want to go is actually onto the Truffle community's website and look at the steps there for installing Truffle, because there are several different ways. This is one, but depending on which version of which operating system you're using, you do want to check the latest vendor documents. We can see here what we're doing, and this is within Windows. We can see here that we create a Truffle project directory. You can see it right here. And then we switch to that project directory within our console. And then we run truffle init, which initializes and creates all of the folders within our Truffle project. And then we'll have to bring in our smart contract code at the very least. And we may need to provide other information in there that is proprietary to our project. And sometimes if we are using Microsoft Code, if we're creating, we may be dependent upon, say, a test suite. So you could see here that we may have to pass in some imports here. So if we want Truffle to, if we want to use it for testing and smart contract development together, there is a possibility that we may have to do some importing of some additional resources. So migrations are actually JavaScript files that are used to deploy contracts to the Ethereum network. So they they look like they're JavaScript, but they look like configuration files, and we in these migration files we input the address of the Ethereum environment. Usually we start off with the test environment, and then we work all the way up to the live Ethereum environment. And you can see here the command is truffle migrate. And we can see here what the migration files have in it. So this is part of it. It's not everything in here, but this is, you could have a lot more. So this is a complete migrations file, but we could certainly have a lot more in here. And migrating and deploying using Truffle. So to deploy a contract, a connection to a blockchain is needed. So Truffle has a simulated local blockchain that you can use for testing and development. Very, very similar to the Remix simulated environment. The difference is that it is, for the most part, all command line, and whereas Remix is a lot more visual. And but you will see addresses, and you will actually see Ether, that is test Ether, that comes with the Truffle development environment. So we can see here, we can see accounts that are right here and some private keys. So this is the Truffle development environment, and you do need to be in what's called develop mode. So you can see here we are in develop mode. And then we are able to access the test accounts and the test private keys that come with Truffle. And you can see here we ran the migration using the Truffle test account. So you can see here we're getting some feedback, and you can see here from, in this case, we just needed the migration JS file, JavaScript file that came with the base project. Now there are going to be times, it's prefixed with a 1. There are going to be times where we need a file that's prefixed with a 2 that has additional information on top of this. That's when we are going to live Ethereum environments or external Web3 environments such as Ganache. Ganache is a tool that allows us to stand up a local Ethereum node. It's not like this environment that comes with Truffle, and it's not like the environment that comes with Remix. It's not like those simulated environments. Ganache gives us an actual simulated or actual test Ethereum node that we can install locally. We do have an exercise with this lesson. It's a pretty basic exercise, just because there's so much to get familiar with, so much to start doing with Truffle, but this is a good way to start. What we're going to do in the exercise is, and take a look at the exercise, but we are going to, in our environments, we are going to be downloading and installing Truffle, and we're going to create a project. So we will be typing Truffle in it, and that will create a project for us. I've already done that. So if we take a look here, it creates this project for us with some of the resources we'll need for our Truffle project. We most likely will have to add to this. One of the directories that's, well, all of these are important, but our contracts directory will have our smart contracts. So in this case, I've already copied smart contracts to it. And what we are going to do is we are going to run a compile. And it is Truffle compile. To compile a contract. So take a look at that and go through the steps in your exercise as well. So again, install Truffle, create a Truffle project, paste in a new contract, and compile the contract. And we see here what we talked about here was Truffle integration with Visual Studio Code, installing Truffle, compiling a project with Truffle, and migrations with Truffle. So again, please also take a look at these additional resources in your learning materials. And also for additional training, please look at these resources that are also part of your learning materials. Thank you.